So, how boldly shall we go this season? I am late to it. I've had a lot going on, but I have now started the new season of Star Trek Strange New World. And we begin with Hegemony Part 2. I suppose before I say anything about this, I will say that I'm coming into this season nervous. I liked the first season by and large, and while I liked some of the second season, as I watched it, other than the second episode of that season, the trial episode, most of it is kind of slid off my brain. Like it's not sticking, at least not in a good way. Most of the stuff that is stuck has been the excessive amount of shipping material and cringe comedy, which is the stuff I don't like. Like even the musical episode, I remember that it happened. That's kind of it, though. So I'm starting to get concerned that my brain is treating this as very disposable, and I'm not trying to do that consciously. It's just kind of what's happening. But anyways, this picks up from the end of the previous season, as is obvious by the part 2 in the title, and it's fine. It's action heavy. It's more action heavy than I honestly like Star Trek to be most of the time. I'm not saying Star Trek can never get into action stuff, but like my favorite Star Trek stuff is never the action stuff. Like my favorite Star Trek movie is number 4, which has a chase through a hospital, and that's about it for anything vaguely resembling action scenes. That's not what I'm here for Star Trek for. That having been said, the action's decent. It's fine. Decent tension. I'm very conflicted about the Gorn as an antagonistic race. On the one hand, they do with the Gorn something that I like when shows bother to do, which is to actually make them fundamentally different from humans, not just because they look like lizards, but their breeding cycle is different. Their technology appears to be a bit different. There's a lot more organic stuff on their ship. They are still, prone to stuff like hibernation cycles, which, like, I think a lot of sci-fi fans or writers are like, well, wouldn't you evolve out of that once you're spacefaring? No, not necessarily. So having that like still be in the mix for them is like that's how I like alien races to be approached, for them to not just be weird looking people who took the exact same, progress in terms of general evolution and technology. I like it to feel weird. And I like that about what they've done with the Gorn. That having been said, the level of just animalistic monster that they are and the level of aggressive they've made them is... Look, when the Gorn first appeared in the original series, the entire point of that episode was that it was assumed they were aggressive monsters, and what we find out at the end is the attack that they engaged in was because they felt their territory was invaded. For them, it was defensive. But the entire thing here is like, oh, they're spreading out. They're going to invade. It's so... We've just gone back to, oh, they're invading and they're horrible, and removed the nuance to it. Like, you can't really fix that by virtue of the fact that the original series happens later in the timeline. I was like, oh, well, we learn later that they're more defensive. Like, that doesn't work. Like, that doesn't wash with what you're showing here and how you're depicting them. It just doesn't. And it takes this not even that particularly complicated or complex or nuanced idea from the 60s and just flattens it to monster. And, taking a creature, the entire point of which is they seem really scary and aggressive and monstrous, but they actually are just defending their own place, and we need to slow the heck down, and doing this with them, I don't know. It feels not only like counterproductive to what it was doing, it feels a little disrespectful, to be honest. And that's a weird word for me to use, because it's not like I had massive respect for the Gorn as a concept, but like fundamentally what they were in the arena in the original series. It's just not what they are here, and it's not about the visuals at all. It's so like I said, real torn on that. But like the performers are all real good. Like everyone's really settled into their roles. I'm liking Scotty. I like the dynamic he's got with, oh boy, it's a bad sign that I cannot remember the names of most of the characters who were not also on the original series, despite the fact that we're now on our third season. But whatever the heck the name of Carol Kane's character is, I like their dynamic where like she used to be Scotty's teacher and she's like, look, you are a slacker, and if you think you have all the time in the world, you can't focus. But if I put you under pressure, boy, you can work miracles. And again, it's a little on the nose, considering what we know about Scotty and his whole dynamic of, I can't do that, I can't break the law of physics, and Kurt just being like, work me a miracle. And he does. I don't know, I kind of like this approach of like actually baking that into him as a character, that he works way, way better under ridiculous pressure, as much as that stresses him out. So yeah, I like how they're handling Scotty in this. I'm digging that. I do like that they went out of their way to save the colonists, not just the lost crew, and that they were successful in doing that. That having been said, the colonists are almost entirely a theoretical presence. They are not seen in this, and like there's a weird line. It's not that the line was weird; it was that it was landed weird. Like, yes, we've beamed up over 100 colonists in there in the overflow infirmary, and I'm just left thinking, overflow infirmary. All we've ever seen, including in this episode, is this one piddly little sick bay with like 10 beds currently being manned by one nurse and Spock. What do you mean overflow infirmary? Like, it makes sense. Logically, it makes sense that they'd have that, but it just feels like such a cover kind of line. It just landed weird. I mean, this is an action-y, spectacle-y opener, and it's fine. It's fine as far as that kind of thing goes. But again, it's not what I'm here for with Star Trek. If that is what you like more with Star Trek, cool, fine. I'm sure you were happier with this than I was. I ain't mad at it. I'm just not pumped by it. Let's go with that. Like, the second episode in the second season was the episode that made me most excited for what this show would do in the future in terms of its level of drilling into the philosophies and the ideas and the notions and the core values behind things, and less about, whiz shooty bang bang. That's what this one is. So, okay. Whatever, man. I don't know what pace I'm going to do these at. I don't know if I'm going to catch up before the season's over. I'll try. But in any case, first episode of the season, what did you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon pays the bills and enables me to do this as my living. Even if you can't help me out that way, like, share, subscribe. Those all help. Don't worry too much about it, though. We take a relaxed attitude around here, and you can just come on back next time you need a break. And now to thank my highest supporting patrons: Robin Moore, Jared Boyce, Zubin Lutfullah, Auntie Kate 808, Mira G, Angry Casperl, Dave Hall, Movie Turtle, Oliver B, Sean Miller, Welsh Wrestling Geeks, Melissa Pedersen, Mary Mello, Becky Sparks, Loki Eris, Tracy Scrabbit, Pal Barabajoggle, and Sir Didymus is my favorite. Don't worry, the rats are all fine, but my rat wrangler is not here right now, and I thought we could have Archie say hi. Or not.